Good morning. It's Thursday, July the 15th. I'm back in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea. And this ongoing pile of parcels to unbox. So, it's a cool, slightly blustery day. Nothing like the heat wave that they promised, but still good weather for unboxing. So here we go. So I'm going to show you just the cover of this. Let's cover this up. So I quite like that. That's quite fun. Nice little addition to the envelope of that. You can see what's in here. And we have Lichcraft by Laurie O'Connell, which would have been published as part of Kickstarter's ZineQuest 3. Basically, ZineQuest is essentially the event early each year where it encourages people to be to create zines in the classic fashion. So essentially, got a character sheet on the back. And one of the interesting things about the zine format is that it's no longer that collection of little things for your favourite game. So it's not so typically a fanzine will be for, say, for example, Dungeons and Dragons or whatever retro clone you like. So you'd have new classes, new races, adventures, monsters, spells, treasures, traps, and so on. That's basically everything that goes into the mechanical elements of a D&D game. And then, of course, you got ones that are a little bit more discursive, more articles, that kind of thing. But the format has kind of changed has been used to create little RPGs. So, such as Lichcraft. Lichcraft, the year is 2069, setting is Great Britain. The Tories have been in power since 2010. Oh joy, I'm not going to enjoy this for starters. Sorry there, a little bit of politics. Elections have been since abandoned, since highly successful gerrymandering rendered them pointless. Due to national health cuts, trans healthcare has become increasingly hard to access. The waiting list for a first appointment at a gender identity clinic is now 300 years. They don't want to outright refuse you. That will be implied that the health service is over capacity or underfunded. They simply add you to the end of the list and wait for you to die. But they are fools, for you have learned the secrets of immortality, and you will get to the end of that waiting list, even if it means waiting another millennium. So, I can imagine this. There are going to be some people for whom this game is not going to find an audience, but for others, for others, okay, this is the perfect game for them. This reflects a degree of their reality, okay, and essentially that has been built into a game. So, this game is for one player and one GM, and a game for a group of people if you wish to play a gang of wannabe liches. The rules are written to two players, can even be adjusted for a small group. In the game, you play a trans person who's been trapped at the bottom of a waiting list for a vital gender-affirming healthcare. You may have been there for years, or you may have been recently joined the list. Either way, the list is far longer than the average mortal lifespan. And as a result, you pursue lichdom. Over the course of the game, you pursue all the opponents of the ritual necessary to transfer yourself into an unnamed creature of a great arcane power. Will you perish along the way, or will you achieve your goal? What will your sacrifice be to get there? And essentially, if you so that's it. And I think essentially the author of the game is a trans person who spent many years on the NHS waiting list, waiting for the healthcare that she requires. And I think the thing is, what this displays is diversity in the hobby and diversity of ideas and what basically diversity of what makes a good role-playing game, or what subject makes for a good role-playing game. And I think that's great. Honestly do. And if that's going to get, I'm going to say basically, the thing is, if that's going to get me attacked by certain people, fine, I don't care. Because recently I was attacked for bringing up acceptance of diversity. It's a very small way in my review of basically a Fairview Citizens Defence Manual from basically by Jim Pinto, and this is in a sense even more political and even more welcoming of diversity than that game was. So this, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, for some people, this unboxing has a bit more politics than is the norm in my videos, because essentially I don't go around espousing politics particularly, but I think that's interesting here that this one really, this is a, to an extent, this is a political role-playing game, because it's dealing with issues that are discussed in the political sphere, and you know, whether basically from whatever angle you take it. Essentially, this is a dystopian role-playing game after after more than 50 years of Tory role, and basically you can be as dystopian or as everyday as you want it to be. And the tables for flavour, like, you know, public libraries have been replaced by huge skull statues performing necromantic rituals, or and the succession wars have resulted in several counties and even some London boroughs claiming independence. Or they say Scotland is a nuclear wasteland. Could it be they just don't want you to ask what's really there? I'm going with they don't want to ask you what's really there, given the Tory government's attitude towards Scotland. And again, more politics. Sorry about that. The rules of play: generate one character, and essentially, when you have one GM, they can swap roles if you want, and that's interesting. Basically, if you are playing it, basically, if you want to explore those issues, then we've got basically a table of ritual, essentially what you need to acquire in order to basically complete the ritual and become the Lich that you so desire. And the locations essentially become the scenes of basically the scenes of the role-playing game. So we have basically a guide to playing scene. So yeah, what we've got here is a storytelling game. It's accompanied by an example of play, and as I've said before, there's nothing better in a role-playing game than an example of play, because essentially you are seeing, you are looking inside the designer's head and seeing how they want the game to be played. And the game itself is quite short. I mean, essentially, the fanzine runs to 24 pages, and then essentially we have things like we have basically final challenge, completing the ritual, an alternative multiplayer version of the game, alternate settings. So whether that's Lichcraft 1869 or Lichcraft 20,069 or Lichcraft 269, they are options, and essentially we've just got a list of the credits. So yeah, that's Lichcraft. Probably in some ways, potentially as socially diverse and politically diverse, and as diverse role-playing game as I've got in my collection, and I look forward to digging into this a bit deeper, just to see, just to give it a bit more coverage, to put it and basically promote it a bit more, because I think this is fantastic. I love the idea of this. I love someone taking their experience, real life experience, and turning it into a game that is essentially, an allegory for that existence. Yeah. So that's Lichcraft. Quite impressed by that, actually. Nice little book, nice artwork, and I have people who will be interested in looking at. Anyway, thank you very much for watching another unboxing in the book. Unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, please do click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, then please do take the time to add those. Do appreciate it when you do. And of course, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, then do click the subscribe button. Then you'll get to see me with parcel, book, and of course, nice hot cup of tea. And then 10 minutes of me talking about whatever is in a parcel, like this. Then, you'll get a video every day at the moment. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll be back again in the near future with another unboxing of the Nook. Bye for now.